I'm Kim Garrison Comartin. Nice to meet you, Alex. I'm just excited to have some new fresh eyes to see what we can bring to the municipality. So welcome aboard.
And hi, Alex. My name's Kelly, and kind of agree with Kim's statements. It's great to have you here.
Okay, so now we can approve the minutes from the last meeting. I'm gonna, Kim and Kelly.
I'll move it.
I don't know that you can, Alan. I don't, Kenny?
Oh,
Okay,
I'm a member of this committee.
I wasn't sure.
My CAO is nodding, I can.
All right, so Alan will move it, and I need another seconder, please. Thank you, Kelly. So moving along, I don't think there's any business arriving from the minutes. So verbal updates, we will hear from Greg Storms and Alex Yardley about updates for the rec department.
I can start off first, and thank you, Councillor Cowell. I'll let Alex kind of tag along after I kind of just give an overview, and he can give some specifics as to what's been happening in the department. I won't get into too much of the day-to-day stuff, but we'll sort of recall excellent session that we had on Friday with regards to the Parks and Rec Master Plan. I had sent a staff report to council to engage a consultant. First of all, put an RFP on the market. We had 6 companies that had submitted to be part of our formulation of our Parks and Rec Master Plan. I say Parks and Rec Master Plan. A lot of people say Facilities and Rec Master Plan. It's kind of more appropriate, Facilities and Rec Master Plan. So council had endorsed our recommendation to develop a contract with Monteith Brown Consultants. They're from London. And we had 6 submissions. They're all excellent. In the end, I think for me, it was had more to do with how many master plans Monteith Brown had put on the market of municipalities of our same size and the quality of what work they had put out in the past. I've had I've worked with them in the past in the creation of master plans in 2 different municipalities, and they are an excellent company for what we're looking for. So on Friday, we had our first meeting. Jill, myself, Alex, was Denny there too? I can't remember. Yes, Denny. And the group from Monteith Brown had our first meeting to kind of set the, introduce everybody and then set the agendas moving forward. So I'll just give you a little bit of background on that. At the present time, we're in the process between myself, Alex, Denny, and Christy at the office. We're gathering a whole lot of information for the consultant, everything from demographic information to contacts to all our clubs, all our service groups, churches, etc. A lot of population information, that type of stuff. So we're gathering that. We had a good meeting today at 1, and we'll meet again next Monday to make sure that we're getting them all the information. A couple things I will say about the master plan. They're going to be, they were also given today the what this committee's made up of, and our terms of reference for this committee. So, I know that they will be in contact, not just with all the service groups, but they will be in contact with this group, as well as making individual contacts with all the counselors and appropriate staff, plus all our service clubs, churches, everybody. They will put this all together for us, and, we'll find out in the end, what residents want in our municipality as far as Facilities and Rec is concerned. So there are some milestones in the document as well, where they have to come to council 4 times and vet their information with council, and then go back and then make changes, etc. So I like that about it as well. This group is excellent in sort of gauging a community. They have a really good understanding of our facilities at this point. So that's the main thing I'd like to mention as far as recreation is concerned and facilities. And on my end, I'm doing a fair bit of work in asset management right now in the facilities end. end of things. So that's something that needs to be done. And we're a little bit behind in facilities compared to, say, Public Works. So that's something we're running with. And Alex has jumped right in and done nothing but a good job as far as I'm concerned at this particular point. And he's grabbed things and run with things. And, you know, I like his initiative and his enthusiasm about Southwest Middlesex. So I may just turn it over to him and he can give you an update on the department itself and what operational stuff that himself and Mark have been working on. The only thing I will say before that is that we have cut back, the arena's closed right now, and we have cut back our part-time workers. But we are still staying at this time with Mark and our 2 contract workers. And then I'll let kind of Alex tell you what they've been up to. So anybody's got any questions, we'll kind of answer them after Alex is done.
Right on, for sure. So yeah, I agree with Greg a lot on everything to do with the master plan. I think it's going to be a really good direction for our operation moving forward and our department moving forward. One of the things that I identify is getting some community engagement and seeing what our citizens want in terms of recreation. I feel like the municipality, this is my feeling from a 30,000 foot vantage point, is that if you kind of build it, they will come. So not necessarily infrastructure, but more programming and things to do. I think that there's example of that with the events that happen at the fairgrounds and the Tartan Days and other things that happen within the community, but it takes a leader to set out a program. And then I think our citizens will engage in it. Furthermore on that, yeah, operations obviously are it's a different world right now for recreation with facilities being closed and not being allowed to have patrons in the building. So we're taking this opportunity to kind of work on things that we're not able to work on when we do have patrons coming through our facility. So we've made quite a mess over there, but at the end of the day, it's going to look really good. So we've kind of taken an inventory of all the things in our arena, which is our central storage hub. We made some decisions on things that we're no longer going to keep, things that are effective to us, and things of high value, and just kind of reorganizing, restructuring, and hopefully setting up our main staging area to be a little bit more, I suppose, efficient, effective, and stored, packed away better. Yeah, beyond that, I mean, we'll see what happens here with everything pandemic related. It's tough to forecast when things will resume any kind of normalcy, but when the time comes, we'll be as ready as we can be, and yeah, that's kind of all I have for now. So
the other thing currently is that we're working on the we are going to be hiring students, so that's something that Alex, we hired for a number of students at the pool as well as in our maintenance operations. So that is something that we're going to push quickly here. And the other thing is that we have the 2 arboretas out on Longwoods. And the department looked after those last year, but didn't do a great job. I don't really want to say too much more about that at this particular point, but so we have approached a contractor, the Green Street Contracting, that had put the trees in those particular spots to see whether they are available to take care of the 2 arboretas for it. That would include grass cutting and paths, keeping the paths in good shape, and keeping the trees living and cutting the grass. So the other thing that's happened to Public Works is that in Public Works, the grass cutting of all our water and sanitary plants in facilities is going to be done by Aqua now, so that's not going to be done by us. So that puts Alex in a position where he has now to figure out all the areas that we have to get contracted out as far as grass cutting is concerned, and what we cut ourselves, and to make that happen as soon as possible now too. So those are the 2 areas we're kind of working at staffing wise here to make them happen here by getting ads out and getting spec sheets out for quotes and that type of thing. So we have to kind of set things up because we're going to morph into the spring operation pretty quickly. So those are the kind of things that we're working on, just to get staff in place so that we can, we're going to proceed like we're going to run a normal operation. So see how it transpires.
Do we have any questions for either Alex or Greg? I have one question. Oh, no, go ahead, Kim. I was waiting for somebody. So Kim, go ahead.
Is the ice staying in, or is there a time frame plan with respect to the, pandemic and when a decision will be made on?
Yeah, for sure. So currently we have decided to leave our ice in. Greg and I have made the decision that there's no benefit to trying to force it out with current winter weather and conditions. Some of the things we have done is we've raised some of the temperatures in our refrigeration plant to minimize the amount that it's going to run on any given day. And we've also started the process of removing some ice just to carry less of a load, and that will also cut back on the call for cooling from the whole system in general. And at this point, for me, it's kind of a wait and see type of game if there's any kind of resumption to normalcy or participating with ice activities.
Thank you. So my question, if no one else has one, we had in the budget, I believe, a position for program coordinator for the rec department. And I can appreciate that some programming might not go forward in the traditional way we intended it. Is there still a consideration for this position as the money was in the budget? Or is it, if we brought that person on and then gave them the task of trying to figure out COVID programming?
Yeah, I can take a shot at that, Krista, if you like. So typically, you would bring a programmer in when you had sort of a whole program set up, and basically then they're sort of facilitating that through a shorter period of time. But what I'm looking at, and this is just, my thoughts with COVID and the fact that we just don't have a program set up at this particular point, is I'd still like to bring the program coordinator on staff and have the design of the program. So if we can't, effectively run, certainly we're not going to, lose out at the pool, because all those programs that we've had going on at the pool are still going to happen at the pool. We haven't had a whole lot of programming that we have designed and played out ourselves. And, but that whole program needs to be designed so that, you got to coordinate it with facilities, et cetera. You have to come up with the communications to your residents and all that type of stuff. So I've had too much of a deep conversation with Jill about this, but I would still want to bring that person in to, put that program together so that moving forward in future years, it's easy. You just bring in a coordinator, the program is all set up, and then they start to make it happen. So that would be my first go at it this year, would be to bring the person in to have that program set up, know where we're going to program in the future, and go through everything right down to the creation of the information that's going to go out, and then moving forward it would be in place. So I don't know if anybody's got anything different on that. I don't want to see us lose that position at this particular point, simply because it's budgeted for and this department needs that work. So that's my thoughts.
I think that's a fantastic perspective on it. And I think that when we get our rec master plan, we will see people asking for a specific type of programming. So I'd love to see a person dedicated to putting that together, to picking through the master plan and setting that all up so that when timelines become available, it's a really good sort of, like you had mentioned, what's work people can do while the facilities are closed. Well, this is something someone can do while nothing can happen. So I think that's a really great strategy.
The other thing for me was that it just allows that person to also participate as a you could say a mature student in that rec and facilities master planning process, right? Because is going to finish towards the end of June. So, this is almost perfect timing for this position, as well as more of a, not a doer position, but a developer type position for where we're moving forward in the future. So I don't know. It seems weird that too many things are falling in the right spot. So.
Yeah, I can also agree that bringing on a coordinator will probably be nothing but beneficial to us, in the sense that the framework has to be designed. You can't get ahead of yourselves and run right into programs without kind of building your program. So I think it's also a beneficial position to bring on board for our group.
Go ahead.
I also think that we, for the size of our municipality, we do have good infrastructure and good amenities to provide to our citizens, and maximizing by kind of looking at the whole picture and seeing what we have and what we can actually offer. I think that generally speaking, we can offer more than we maybe think we can.
And Kim, you had a question?
Yeah, I think maybe Greg said it, but I'm not sure. Did he say the rec master plan will take till June to complete?
Yes. So
Okay,
we should have a completed document by the end of June. Now, we started a couple of weeks late, but you know, they told us on Friday that they felt they could still meet the timeline. So, which was June 21st. They have a completed document.
And you had a follow-up question?
Yeah, we had discussed at the previous meeting about the arena improvements and hoping for the provincial money. You guys didn't know. There was no or yes, but then I did see in the accepted budget that it looked like there was some coin sitting in there for the arena. So I didn't know if that had come through.
Maybe Jill can answer that one.
I'll just tell you that we did put the money in the capital budget for our portion of our commitment, and I'll let Jill kind of address the overall issue of the grant itself.
Yeah, thanks. So through you, Krista, Kim, we're kind of in the same position. We haven't been told no, so that's good.
And we, I think, wanted to be prepared in case we heard otherwise. And then they were like, you need to come up with a bunch of money to pay your share, and we didn't budget it. That wouldn't be prudent. But no, I don't think we've heard anything else.
No, we're still, through you, Krista, we're still answering questions from the federal government. So it still is signed, but you know, we just don't know at this point.
Yeah.
And Alan, you had a question?
Yes, thank you very much, Krista. Greg, this position of recreation coordinator, is it a full-time or a part-time position you're contemplating?
It's just a part-time. It's so it'd be a contract summer position. So typically a student, you'd bring a student in for, you know, from April till the end of August, and they would be your coordinator itself. So the only difference this year would be that they would be more of a person that's developing the framework towards the future. So, and they could do some programming work as well from what we've already have in place. But
no, the reason I ask, and this is just chat, it's no inference of opinion here, but as mayor, you get many inquiries. There was a young gentleman that approached the front desk and advised me of it later. He lives in Ross Schneider's and Mary Simpson's place. The farm they left, they recently moved from. He has a PhD out of a U.S. university, and he's kind of a stay-at-home dad, very young dad, and his wife is a professional career.
I think Jill has a comment.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd just be a little cautious about talking about people on here.
Oh, I'm not going to mention names, but the point I'm making
We're
is
on
that there have been
YouTube.
inquiries for that. Yeah.
So I would be very excited to see the type of applicants that we're going to have to that position and what they can bring to the role. But yeah, Greg is right. It's a contract position, and I think it's for 5 months. Is that correct, Greg? Yeah.
And Kelly, you had a question?
Just a quick question. If it's a 5-month contract, then who would be responsible for the recreation programming the rest of the year?
Through you, Krista, that would be my department. So, you know, we would be looking at developing a program, not just for 5-month period, but for the complete year. That could be as simple as the setup of a, you know, co-ed volleyball league at the high school gym. That will occur in the wintertime, but that, you know, the discussions and the setup of that program, getting volunteers, all that type of stuff can happen during this person's time. So my expectation is the person would all be setting up programming for year round for residents of the municipality.
Any other questions? Well, seeing no other questions, we can move on from this. I don't believe we have anything else on the agenda, so we can move on perhaps to notice of future meetings and take a look at our calendars and see what everyone's availability is. Does Monday still work for people? I
It's a
can't
good
see your
time for
faces.
me.
Okay, I can't look at my calendar and your faces. 5 p.m. on Mondays is fine for me. And are we looking at 4 months out? Or
I-
go ahead, Jill.
I was just going to say, do you want to set it for the year, maybe? Like you
We
might
did
have
that last time.
Yeah, you might have additional meetings given the rec master planning process, but maybe you just want to set the future meetings for the rest of the year.
Sure.
Because there's, through you, Krista, there's no doubt there's going to be probably a couple times that this group has to meet with the consultant as well, right? So
May 10th at 5 p.m., day after Mother's Day. And then 1, 2, 3. Does September 20th? I don't know. That's right after, hopefully, the Glencoe Fair. At 5 p.m. I do like these online meetings, though.
I do too. I don't have to drive anywhere.
And then a December meeting, the 6th or the 13th?
6,
6 would be better, I think, but
13th's too close. There's
We
budget
will
talk,
be able to go on trips and vacations.
maybe.
But that is,
You never know.
and the 6th is good because we move into budget talk. So if there's anything else we want to talk about, we can bring it up then. We won't pass the budget by December 6th. Okay. So now that we've set our meetings for the year, if there's nothing else, if nobody has any questions, comments, we can adjourn the meeting.